Good morning and welcome to everyone. I can see
Good morning,
Deepika,
sir.
Priyesh, Manatosh. So welcome to all of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So how do you like this title today? Words, tone and body language. I'm sure it was
Nice.
attractive enough. That's why you are here. Can you repeat
Everything
that,
depends
Deepika?
on the like very important title in the current scenario, because everything depends on the word and how you speak. That is the tone.
Topic is nice, sir.
Okay. All right. So, as we all know that we keep on communicating day in, day out, and while we are communicating, these are the three factors which are very, very important. One is the words we use. So, even for a small communication, also, we have to select certain words. This happens just automatically. We don't really pay that much attention generally, but actually, technically speaking, we select the words. Maybe that after some time it becomes a habit and it becomes so automatic that we think that we are not paying attention to it, but in reality we always use the words that we want to use for our communication, whether it is a proactive communication or whether it is in response to someone else's communication. We select words, and based on the words we form the sentence. After forming the sentence, when we deliver it, then a lot of things are there like volume and pitch and pace. Along with that, there is one more thing, that is tone. In which tone I'm saying what I'm saying. And the third thing, very important thing, is the body language, especially when it is like a face-to-face meeting or when it is a webinar like this, then we can see each other's body language. And at that point of time, it is important to see what is the body language. Now, collectively, these three things. So we can study these three factors independently also, and we can look at it collectively also. Today, we are going to do both. How does it individually impact and how does it collectively impact our communication? And unlike many people may believe that these are just very ordinary, simple things, and I know about it, but when we go deeper, we will realize that there is a lot which probably we don't know. So let's start with words. Words are powerful. Words make a lot of difference. Words create or mark the meaning. So words could be very, very powerful. A very simple example is when someone asks you, "How are you?" What is the typical answer? I've heard people saying, "Fine, thank you."
Fine.
Right? Okay. To the extent that I experiment something. So once when someone said that, how are you? I said, I'm not fine. And you know what reply I got? Okay, thank you. I'm also fine. That means people are not even willing to listen to my answer. It was so monotonous that, okay, I'm going to say, how are you? You are going to say, fine. I'm going to say, okay, I'm also fine. So it is losing the meaning. What if I use words like great, fantastic, fabulous on top of the world? I'm not saying that one should exaggerate, but I'm saying if you genuinely feel something close to these words, can we use these words? And if your answer is yes, that yes, these words can be used, then my question to you is, in that case, why you are not using it? Because if it can be used, you should have used. But most of us don't. So why we don't use the words? Sorry? Yeah, Priyesh, you want to say?
Sir, I would like to request all the participants to mute their audio while you are speaking, because there is a lot of disturbance coming when you are speaking.
All right. So may I request everyone, or you want me to mute from here?
No, sir. If you mute from there, how will we listen to you?
Okay, okay. So request to everyone, please mute from your side so that you can start. No, the point is even I can mute everyone, but in that case, what will happen is that if you want to talk, you won't be audible. In this case, you have the choice. So everyone, please mute. So now I think there is no disturbance. Am I right? All right, great. So when we say that if we can use these words, why we don't use these? What stops us? What probably stops me from using these words? One, I think maybe that we feel that it is too exaggerated. I'm not really in that mood. But then even fine is exaggerated because you may not be fine. Something is going wrong in your life, right? But someone with whom you don't have that close relation and they ask you, how are you? Then you don't want to tell that, okay, I'm sick or my relative is sick. Because the moment you tell that, they will ask what happened. And then you have to answer. And then they will give their gyan that ye karo, wo karo. You don't want all those things. Your relation is not that close. So all you say is fine. So even that is exaggerated. So why not, if at all we have to exaggerate, why not use better words which has got better meaning, which are more powerful? I'm not saying, I'm not asking you to use difficult words. So suppose I have to say, let's not fight on small issues. I'm not asking to tell you that let's not fight on trivial issues, because trivial is a word which not many people would understand. But small issues, tiny issues, these are the words people can understand. So two rules here. Let's use words which are powerful. At the same time, these words should be simple for people around us to understand. In America, trivial may be very commonly used word. For them, it's a simple word. But for us in India, it is not a simple word, right? Tiny or small is a better word in India. So let's know our audience, and knowing our audience, if I can use simple words, but within simple words also, powerful words. So what you see here is fantastic, fabulous. They are simple words. They are not difficult words. People know the meaning, and yet they are very powerful. At least as compared to fine, all these words are more powerful. When I say awesome, it's definitely better than fine. So can I use that? Now, what stops me? One thing that stops me is my habit. I am habituated. First time when someone said, how are you? I wanted to describe the entire detail. Next time I observed someone, and that someone was very senior person and a knowledgeable person. So someone asked him, how are you? He said, fine. So I also learned that, okay, When someone asks you, how are you? You should say fine. So we copied, and maybe that over a period of time it became a habit, and now we don't even pay attention to what and why we are saying. It has become a ritual. So a lot of things, a lot of words have become ritual. We have to make little extra effort to come out of that ritual. We have to come out of that habit if it is a habit. So simply ask yourself a question: is there a better word for conveying what I am conveying? And one exercise, if you can do, that will help you a lot is, you all see Amul advertisements. Please read those advertisements. This gentleman knows how to play around with words, right? In one punch line, they speak a lot. So this is one area. Along with this, you can pay attention to many other things like cartoons, or nowadays there is a lot of gyan coming on WhatsApp. So there you find how people play around with words. So pay attention to the words, and if you pay attention to the words, you will come to know that for same meaning there are number of alternate words. We have dictionary also, but practically we find it very lazy to go to dictionary. But even if you generally pay attention, I'm sure that you will be able to find better words to use. Another example is, who are you? So if a lady is being asked, who are you? I've heard these answers. I'm a housewife. I'm just a housewife. I'm a homemaker. I'm a home minister. And maybe there are more variations available. Now, what difference it makes when I say I'm housewife or just a housewife? Is it not the same?
Yes.
It sounds same, but it is not same. Is it conveying the attitude of this person? Is it conveying the mental state of this person? One person says, I'm housewife. Another person says, I'm just a housewife. What is the difference? So when you say I'm housewife, it's okay. But when you say I'm just a housewife, somewhere it says that you consider yourself very small. Because just a housewife conveys a meaning that you are too small. That means there is some regret that I'm a housewife. That means there is some kind of either shame or it's a low feeling that I'm just a housewife. So even that one word, addition of one word, just makes a lot of difference to your meaning. And the moment you say I'm homemaker, now entire thing is changing. I'm homemaker. I'm powerful. And you go one step ahead and you say I'm home minister. Now you are very, very powerful. Nobody gave you these designations. You can take it yourself, but it talks about your mental status, that what is happening in your mind. So this selection of words makes a lot of meaning to you, which could be positive, which could also be negative. So let us use our words very, very carefully. And you have a choice. Good thing is that you have a choice. Similarly, another situation where I ask people or I observe people.
So there is
What do you
still some
do?
noise in the background. Can we
Okay,
ask it?
may I once again request everyone, please mute your mic. And only when you want to speak, open and speak, and again close it. All right. Another situation where I observe people using words in different ways. What do you do? I'm doing a job. What do you do? I'm, say, sales manager of so and so company, or I'm brand ambassador of so and so company. I'm member of this company, or there could be many more different ways to describe yourself. So the point is that, like in my case, someone asks me, what do you do? So I tell them, my job is to create more trainers. Now I can simply say, I conduct training in Train the Trainer. Now that's very generic answer that will not create any interest in the mind of the people. But the moment my experience is, the moment I tell people that my job is to create more trainers, they get a little confused that what exactly you mean, what do you do? Then I tell them that I'm inspired with Anthony Robbins. Anthony Robbins said that the job of a leader, was it Robin Sharma or Anthony Robbins? I'm a little confused. So they said that the job of a leader is to create more leaders. I got inspired. I said, the job of a trainer is to create more trainers. And that's what I'm doing. So that is how the conversation goes. So one answer, which was very simple answer, that I'm a master trainer for train the trainer, would not have got any interest, would not have got any response. But by changing those words, suddenly I get a lot of response from people. They get interested in what I do. So these are the things, these are very, very preliminary words. In fact, during our entire conversation, we have got a lot of choice of words. And I want again and again you to ask yourself that what are the words I'm using? Be aware, pay little attention, and can I change those words? However, at the beginning of the conversation, I would want you to be more careful. So beginning of the words is this situation, like how are you, who are you, what do you do, what's your name. All these situations are opening situations, and in these opening situations, if you use more powerful words, it's going to be much more helpful. So especially at the beginning of the conversation, please pay attention to use powerful yet simple words. It will do miracles. It will help you a lot. Now let's move to the next thing, that is tone. How you say it is very, very important. Now, there is a very common communication that happens amongst most of us, that when we meet people, we greet them. So I'm taking this just as an example. The tone has to be instrumental in entire communication, but let me just take the example of the greetings. When you greet someone, how do you greet? Different people greet different ways. Someone may say Jai Hind, someone may say Shubh, uh, uh, Shubh Muhurt, or anything. Most of us very commonly say good morning, right? So when I say good morning, is it a good morning? That is the question. Is it again very routine that I say good morning and you also say good morning and we move on? So there are different ways in which I can say good morning. I can say good morning Deepika, good morning Johnson, good morning Ravinder, or I can say good morning, how are you Sheetal, right? Or I can say uh, good morning. So what you observe here is just one greeting, that is good morning, could have so many of variation. It could be dull, it could be very energetic, and sometimes it could be sarcastic also. When I say someone that, hey, you're looking too cute, or hey, you're looking cute. Now, what I'm saying is the same. The words are same, but the meaning is reversed just by my tone. So is it a sarcastic tone? Now, important thing is that it is not important what my intention was. So most of the time, my intention will be reflected rightly, but sometimes I may commit mistake. That means I had no intention to pass on a sarcastic remark, but the tone which I used makes the other party feel that it was a sarcastic remark. Now that is disaster. That is disaster, because I didn't have the intention, and still I made someone else feel that it was a sarcastic remark, which is not the right communication. The right communication is the way I intended to share my thoughts reach to the person in the same manner, not in a changed manner. So here, if the manner is changed, if the meaning is changed, my communication is not right. So what I need to do is, first of all, entire communication, but especially the routine communication, something which we do day in, day out. Once again, one more example I would like to give you. When you call someone who is like a front desk person, a receptionist, a telephone operator, call center people, what they do is they tell you, they announce the greeting, their own name, their company name in such a monotonous tone that you are not energized. So I'm Arun calling from Training Tree. May I talk to you for 2 minutes? Now this is a very monotonous tone. And second mistake they do is they speak very fast. For them, this recitation is repetition. Again and again and again they are saying it. So for them it is by heart. They know the meaning already. So they have a tendency to speak very fast. But for the listener, It is something new. It is coming for the first time. So they need little more time to carefully listen, understand, grasp it, and then respond. So one is the speed at which you speak, the pace. So the pace has to be reasonable. It should not be fast. Typically, whenever we say something that is repetitive, there is a tendency that our pace becomes a little faster, sometimes very fast. So pace has to be taken care of and the tone has to be taken care of. So anything which we do repetitively like greetings, our tone tends to become monotonous, it tends to become flat, and as a result, the meaning is lost. What is the purpose of your saying good morning? You want to energize. You want to say how happy you are meeting this person or seeing this person. But what actually is happening? It has become a ritual. You said good morning, I said good morning. So what is the fun? As compared to that, can I say, hi, very good morning? And maybe that you can add something more. I'm so happy to see you. Now, does that make a difference? I'm sure it does. So, what can we do? What we can do is we can check, we can observe our own communication. And while doing that, one, what we discussed was observe the words you are using. And the second thing is observe the tone that you are using. Now, if that tone is not very, very positive, then you can always change it. How do we change it? So there is one simple method which we need to learn, and that is called voice modulation. What is voice modulation? While I'm speaking, I have choice. I can speak to you in the same tone for a long time, and then you will get bored and you will feel that what I'm saying is not having much meaning. Your attention is lost because what you are saying in the same tone, and from morning till evening, if I speak in the same tone, within 20 minutes, I can guarantee that you will fall asleep. And this is the way if anybody speaks, you get irritated. In fact, you get frustrated. In fact, you want to hit that person, and you want to hit that person very, very hard. Is that right? Now, this is what happens if my voice
Yes.
modulation is flat. And what happens when my voice modulation is very nice? So, what is nice? The more ups and the more lows. So, sometimes I whisper. You have to pay attention to what I'm saying. Sometimes you stress the words now, and sometimes you go very, very loud to draw the attention. So when I do these two things, sometimes I go low, sometimes I go high,
माइनस कर दिया तुमने
and some, yeah,
आपका
again,
वीडियो
yes, please. Okay, I'll repeat that. When sometimes I go too low to the extent of whisper, sometimes I go very high, not to the level of shouting, but just below shouting, and both will attract attention. Number one. Number two, I can stretch upon some words. I can, pull some of the words where I want emphasis. By doing these things, what happens is that there's a lot of highs and lows. And when these highs and lows takes place, automatically there would be emotions that will be visible. When I say, good morning, my emotions are visible. When I say, hey, good morning, now there's slight variation in the emotion. Both are good, positive emotions. But
ये टेबल पे रखती है
yes. Can you repeat that? Or was it a noise? Please mute your mic unless you want to ask or share something. Right. So here we are that we have to pay attention to our words, we have to pay attention to our tone. And when you find that your tone is more or less flat, then you have to bring variations, voice modulation that will reflect your emotions, right? And it goes both ways. You feel the emotion, your voice modulation will automatically happen, or you bring voice modulation, emotions will come automatically. Which direction to go, you can decide. You can sometimes use this direction, sometimes you can use that direction. I would put it this way, when the emotions are not by default coming, you can use more of voice modulation to bring emotions. When the emotions are genuinely there, automatically there, then you don't need to do that. Modulation will automatically happen. But either way you can do it. There's no hard and fast rule on that. Shall we move ahead? Are we comfortable till this level? Any question, any sharing, any similar thought? Anyone would like to share? Okay. So we have 10 minutes more, and I would like to devote these 10 minutes for another aspect. But before that, little bit about body language. So what is body language? Very important thing related to body language is that this body language should be in sync with the spoken words. So when I'm saying very happy to meet you, am I really happy? Okay, I'll say it again. I'm very happy to meet you. Am I happy? I'm so happy to meet you. 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 So you can see that as my body language changes, the true meaning of my spoken words is changing. Although I'm using the same words, variation of tone, yes, but the words are same. But the meaning is changing not only with the tone, but also with my body language. So it could be my eye contact, it could be my eye brightness, facial expressions. Here you can see my face only, but my hand movement, my leg movement, all these contribute to conveying my body language. So one very important rule is that your body language should be in sync with your spoken words. When I'm saying I'm very happy, but my face is sad, it doesn't work. And this is just one example. Like this, you will have several combinations, right? So ensure that your body language is meeting with the spoken words. What commonly I have observed is that people use words, however, they don't check their body language. And many times it goes in two different ways. So the meaning is not that powerful. Another factor is that body language is much, much more powerful than spoken words. Let's do one exercise. Just touch your head like this. Just touch your temple. Now touch your ears. Touch your nose. How many of you really touched your nose, not chin? So for many of you who were careful in listening, you touched your nose here. But for many of you who paid more attention to body language, you touched your nose here because I did so, right? So that is what says that your body language is more important than spoken words. So by words, I'm saying touch your nose, but by body language, I'm showing the chin. So there is a greater tendency that you will do this rather than this, right? So we have to pay more attention to our body language and ensure that it is in sync with my words. The more it is in sync, the more powerful your communication will become. So our conclusion is that when we communicate, these three factors will help you read other people's communication in a better way. So when someone is talking to you, please read their words, pay attention to the words they are using, pay attention to the tone they are using, and also pay attention to the body language simultaneously, all the three at the same time. You will get the mindset. You will understand the true meaning of what they are trying to say. And similarly, when you are sending a communication, ensure that all these three are in proper sync. The words you are using should be good, pause, simple. The tone you are using should be appropriate to the meaning that you want to convey, and your body language should be in sync with your communication, with your intention. If you do these three things, I can ensure that your communication will become extremely powerful. You will be able to convey your message, one, in powerful way, and two, in lesser time. And this time factor is very, very important, especially nowadays, because nowadays people don't have time. Nobody's having time. Forget about big executives. Even kids don't have time to listen to you. I'm sure all the parents would vouch that when you want to talk to children, they say, "Jaldi bolo mama, jaldi bolo papa, mere paas time nahi hai." Right? So even they don't have time. Nobody is having time. You go to a customer, they say, "Okay, I got 20 minutes for you. Complete your presentation within 20 minutes." Sometimes even 20 minutes is too much. They will give you 3 to 5 minutes. So how to communicate in shortest period of time and still creating a bigger impact? There are many things, especially I would say empathy, perception, a lot of other things are there. Along with that, one aspect is these combination of these three aspects, which will make it very, very powerful. Now, before we conclude, there's one more thought I want to give to you. This you can treat as a bonus thought, that what we say what we do, and what we think are a triangle's three arms. So whatever I say will impact my thinking as well as my actions. Similarly, my actions are going to impact my speech and also my thinking. For example, if physically what I do is I do exercise. When I do exercise, uh, my thought process will become more fresh, and as a result, the words I will be speaking will come out with more enthusiasm. If I say something regularly, if I say I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, my thinking becomes happy and my action becomes happy. Reverse, if I say I'm sad, I'm sad, I'm sad, I'm unlucky, I'm unlucky, my thinking becomes unlucky, my actions becomes unlucky. If I start thinking very positive, the words I will use will come out automatically positive words, and similarly, my actions will become positive. You can do one exercise. Tomorrow, when you go to your office or in any of the gathering, pick up one person secretly, and everyone tells the person, "Hey, you're looking great." Someone will say, "Oh, you're blushing. Hi, is there some good news?" So everyone asks the person something positive, that why you're looking so good. Another day, do the reverse of it. Pick up another person, and one person will ask, "अरे किससे झगड़ा हुआ क्या?" Yet another person will say, "अरे बीमार है क्या?" Third person will say, "अरे क्यों आज इतना सुस्त क्यों दिख रहा है या दिख रही है?" Right? Like this, have these questions. Within 15 minutes, you will see the effect. If it was positive, the person will be, energetic. If it is negative, you will find that in 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, 2 hours, this person will ask for leave. That is the impact of what we say, what we think, and what we do, because all the three are interconnected. One will impact the other two. So this is all from me today in terms of our communication. So I will remind you once again that it's very important to use the proper words, the tone, and the body language. And remember this triangle, that whatever you do, whatever you say, and whatever you think are interconnected. So create a nice sync with it. My request to you, as usual, give me feedback, give us references. My WhatsApp number is 99200 I'm there on Facebook, on LinkedIn, Insta. So wherever you feel like, please give the feedback of today's session. And feedback could be either way. If you liked, say that. If you didn't like, or if you wanted some improvement, even say that and say it openly, because that will help me improve further. So thank you very much for being here. I'm very happy to address you this morning. At this juncture of time, beginning of the day, you have decided to spend time with me. That's a reason for my happiness today. So you have made my day. Thank you very much. There are few minutes still available, so maybe that if you have any question, we can take it up.
Uh, so the three effective things, if you can repeat once again,
Which one?
the three effective things that you shared
The triangle.
while in the conclusion, when you read others, what were the three effective things that you said will work more than empathy? I mean, others also work.
Same thing. The title of today's session, empathy is important, perception is important. Along with that, there are a lot of factors that actually impact our communication. However, the
These
selection
three
of words
things.
and
Okay.
tone and the body language is one such factor. Collectively, these three are very, very important. So I would say that when you use these three together, you are able to get the X-ray of the mind of the other person. However, you have to use it simultaneously. Was that your question?
Yeah, that's right, sir. Actually, I just missed that part. So
Okay. So, actually, these three are independent factors. What I have tried to do in today's session is that while taking care of these factors independently, can we take care of these three factors collectively, simultaneously? Then it will have a greater meaning.
greater
Now that
impact.
becomes one set of observation. And then there are other things like perception, empathy, framing of sentences, grammar, all those things are other factors. Great. Any other thought, any other sharing? Even all of you have a lot of experience, so maybe that's something you would like to share on the subject. There is some noise coming from somewhere. Okay, great. So I hope there are no questions. If there is anything else that comes to your mind later on, you can always connect with me on WhatsApp. And once again, reminder for your feedback. Please post your feedback on any of the social media of your choice. That would make me very, very happy. Thank you very much. And I will be there with you again tomorrow with a new topic that we'll announce. And see you there. Hope that we'll be there again. Thank you very
sir.
much. And bye bye for the day.